is
7 p.m.
Tonight in CVM News at 7, 3 children among 4 people killed in St. Elizabeth crash Saturday. Stakeholders raise alarm. St. Thomas Eastern caretaker claps back at PNP over government usurping claims. For Inspire Jamaica, adults in their childhood shoes, a reflection with a twist. There's also farming forward. While in sports, Montego Bay United back on top of the Jamaica Premier League, beating Dunby Holding 1-0 today.
the internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winford Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than entertainment.
Let's delve deep into the issues. We'll take you beneath the surface.
Greetings and salutations. My name is Orville Higgins and it's another edition of Fan Central.
Talking to the people at the heart of the top sporting stories. Hear from your favorite sportsmen and women and the administrators who work tirelessly to make it all happen. It's live sports talk.
I've written an entire article.
Yeah.
Looking at all the major issues every Tuesday at 9 p.m. It's Fan Central.
Every dream conquered is another dream gained. I land and I fly again like a jet plane. Headed straight in your direction, 'cause I'm wiser, one step closer. I'm winning 'cause
The internationally acclaimed On Stage with Winfred Williams.
At a new time, Saturdays at 8 p.m. on CVM TV.
So much more than
Hello from Kingston, Jamaica. This is CVM News at 7 for Sunday, January 11, 2026. I'm Carolyn Brown. Thanks so much for joining us. 4 people are dead, including 3 children, in a motor vehicle crash near the St. Elizabeth-Westmoreland border. The National Road Safety Council, which continues to call for urgent action to stem future carnage, says speed and lane departure may have been factors in this latest incident. Kevin Black has more details.
4 people, including 3 children, have died in a single motor vehicle collision on Saturday, raising fresh concerns about road safety. Assistant Commissioner of the Jamaica Fire Brigade, Rudolph Seaton, confirmed the details.
We received a call of a motor vehicle accident on the Funkill Main Road at 6:29 p.m., to which 1 unit from the Black River Fire Station responded. Upon arrival, the team came upon a Toyota Voxy that collided in a JPS truck, in which 4 persons perished. 4 females, 1 adult female, and 3 children, all females, perished in that accident.
According to Vice Chairman of the National Road Safety Council, Dr. Lucian Jones, preliminary information suggests the driver may have been traveling in the wrong lane and at an unsafe speed at the time of the collision.
One news report suggested that the driver swerved to avoid a pothole and crashed into the truck. The police report only says that the driver was in the wrong lane. So investigations will continue and we'll get further details. If 4 people died in one crash, we have to wonder whether or not they were unsafe road users, in a sense of whether or not they were buckled up in front and back.
Dr. Jones highlights the crash comes just days after public calls were made for stronger action to address unsafe roads and driver behavior. He says a wider system-based approach is now urgent.
2026 is going to be filled with more disasters unless we can move quickly to get the demerit point system and other aspects of the Road Traffic Act in place. We have to make sure that our people buckle up in front and the back in our cars and wear their helmets. And we have to make sure that we have safe vehicles in this country. Our children's lives are at stake.
Kevin Black reporting for CVM News.
We do apologize for aspects of the video showed there. Now, as of Monday, January 12, the Transport Authority will commence motor vehicle examinations for all categories of public passenger vehicles, PPV, for the 2026-2027 licensing period. The process, which the authority explains is earlier than usual, in addition to facilitating a timely submission of applications for the start of the new licensing period on February 1, is part of a push to provide convenient and efficient service to customers preparing for renewal of their licenses, which will expire on March 31. Managing Director of the Transport Authority, Ralston Smith, is encouraging customers to take advantage of the easy and convenient online licensing application process, where bank transfers and or Visa debit or credit cards can be used to facilitate payments. He's reminding the PPV operators as well as new applicants they must meet the approved Transport Authority standards and requirements in order to receive a road license. Now, the standards include color coding, exterior markings and updated motor vehicle documents, which are accessible from the Island Traffic Authority and the Tax Administration Jamaica portals. All PPV operators are also being urged to get in line early and complete the license application process and avoid the possibility possibility of prosecution for non-renewal of their road license. Now, there is a warning. Applications after March 31 will attract a late fee. For further details, utilize the authorities' toll-free number 1-888-915-687, customer care 876-618-0959. There's also WhatsApp number 876-551-8196. You can also visit their website at www.ta.org.jm. The National Conservation on Harassment continues following recent allegations that several females have fallen prey to the advances of one male whose threats have been on the police's books. Yet the numbers are climbing without action. Here's Kevin Black with more.
A social media post by Sage, a social media influencer here in Jamaica, has sparked a national conversation about harassment. Her post revealed incidents involving a man known to threaten women, sparking others to come forward with their stories.
When I met him was at Devon House. He's brown, tall, he have black lips. Came up to me in Devon House parking lot, kept on pushing me to get my number. I was just like, hey, you can have my IG. Oh, I'm not on social media. Give me a number. It was just like, oh, damn. This man might be fine.
After sharing her story, Sage received messages from hundreds of women who claimed to have experienced similar harassment from the same individual, some dating back to his high school days.
I was disturbed and disgusted. And I was surprised because it was like a snowball effect. It's over like hundreds of stories, hundreds of women from different years. The earliest story from he was in high school.
Sage says she sought help from the authorities, while also highlighting how the incident has made her more alert in public spaces, while emphasizing the importance of public awareness.
I was reached out to by Devon House. I was reached out to by the open house people, the party that I was going to. I went to the police. I went to Grand Spend Police Station and I made the report. While I was there, I guess this is procedure, but I didn't really have that much information at the time. So we had the street that he was on.
Sage says the support she has received online, both from women and men, has helped her cope emotionally. She continues to use her platform to advocate for women who may not feel safe speaking out. Kevin Black for CVM News.
To this CVM News follow-up now, former St. Thomas Eastern Member of Parliament, Dr. Michelle Charles, has pushed back strongly against opposition claims her recent presence at the Princess Margaret Hospital during an official tour signaled government's effort to sideline elected members of Parliament. Nika Lewis has the response.
Reality and perception are now being debated by the former JLP MP in Eastern St. Thomas, Dr. Michelle Charles, and members of the opposition People's National Party following a recent tour by State Minister Crystal Lee. The PNP has accused the government of allowing defeated candidates to perform official duties in constituencies, citing Dr. Charles's appearance with the State Minister on January 9 in Eastern St. Thomas. The PNP says the visit breached protocol and disrespected the elected MP Rose Shaw, insisting she was neither informed nor invited. Dr. Charles, in issuing a formal rebuttal, insists her visit was unplanned. Charles says hospital staff recognized her and asked her to stay.
I was not invited or formally notified and had no prior knowledge of Minister of State the Honorable Crystal Lee's visit to our hospital. As is my routine, I was in my Morant Bay dental office, where I usually am, sometimes during the week, and I was informed that Minister Lee was at the hospital. I decided to stop by briefly and say hello. Upon my arrival, the members of the hospital staff recognized me, welcomed me warmly, and asked that I remain. So I agreed.
The former MP denies any intent to usurp authority and accuses the opposition of spreading misinformation.
I remain focused on supporting healthcare workers and advocating for improved services for the people of Eastern St. Thomas. And I will always engage respectfully with institutions serving our communities. The statement from Philip Paulwell about the government bypassing elected representatives is false and lacks merit.
However, the opposition PNP insists it will raise the matter in Parliament and demand accountability. Nika Lewis, CVM News.
A lifeline after the damage dealt by Hurricane Melissa saw over 180 Jamaicans embarking on the seasonal farm work in Canada. Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. urged the group to uphold the legacy established since the program's inception in 1966, prioritize health and safety while representing Jamaica with excellence. The minister also reaffirms the government's commitment to strengthening safeguards for workers. Back to Nika Lewis for more.
71 days since several rural parishes took a battering from Hurricane Melissa. Now, a glimmer of hope after the storm as Labour Minister Pernell Charles Jr. addressed the first group of farm workers bound for Canada for 2026.
183 Jamaicans are starting off the 2026 agricultural season, heading to Canada, 98 today and 85 tomorrow morning. Since January 1, 2025, 15,156 Jamaicans have accessed overseas employment opportunities between the U.S. and Canada.
The minister notes a drastic increase in the cohort and the demand internationally for Jamaican farm workers. He says that's a whopping 687 more workers than were sent in 2024.
A clear sign that the demand for Jamaican labor is rising, and it's rising because our people continue to excel on the job. Today's cohort tells a very powerful story. 90% are returning workers, and that therefore represents a real vote of confidence. Confidence in our work ethic, confidence in the structure of our program, confidence in our discipline, and confidence in Jamaican reliability.
Minister Charles underscores the impact of the program in the aftermath of Hurricane Melissa, reminding the program offers a lifeline for many Jamaican families.
I want to reaffirm that we are protecting the integrity of the program. We will continue to strengthen worker safeguards, and we are preparing this program for the future so that every Jamaican who participates can thrive and leave the door open for another. To our workers departing today, travel safely, support each other, stay focused, and represent your country well.
The farm workers will be traveling to several Canadian provinces, including Ontario, Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island, and Newfoundland, where they will be engaged in greenhouse agriculture and the cultivation of fruits and vegetables over the next 8 months.
On Farming Forward now, it's part 2 of KB and Ranch, as the team gets insight on the cost of goats and suggestions on what can be done to help combat Jamaica's goat meat shortage. Here's our reporter, Druselle Mills.
Farming Forward is brought to you by Nutrimix. Last week, we were on K&B Ranch, operated by Shelton James, better known by his colleagues as Chris. We focused on the chickens and the chicken house. What are we up to this week?
And on this farm, we had some chickens.
However, on this farm, we have more than just chickens. This week, we explore goats. Are these show goats, pets, or goats for a proper curry meal?
Well, we hear them breeding and we sell back like to other farmers, and we do meats. So we have goats for Christmas. We have a ram goats for Christmas.
How much does one go for?
Well, it depends. The breeder, like if you have a full bred, can from 150 up to like 300,000.
Here's the true star of the show, Miss Heavy. Yes, you heard correctly. She's heavy indeed, costing between $350,000 to $400,000. She's a full-bred Boer goat, hence the price. Jamaica continues to experience a shortage of goat meat, with local farmers meeting only about 15% of demand, leading to heavy reliance on imports. High production cost, limited quality feeding, and theft contribute to the shortage. Chris believes he has the solution to the issue.
First, we need to get together, like form a group. So, each one can so we form a group, and suppose you have 10, we have 10, and then we just form a cluster then. So we could provide more. So we could share our genetics with each other to expand the thing, because that is the problem. Plenty farmers can't afford to buy a service online, it's very expensive, so we could rotate. So you have one, me, so we do rotation now, so it costs us less. Because we would have 4 rams, so we would use maybe one this year, one next year, instead of buying one farmer buy 4 rams, for 4 years. Change up the genetics, because you don't want to breed back the daughter to the dad and so on and so on.
And finally, why is male goat meat preferred to its female counterpart?
Well, it can be eaten, but Jamaican just like the ram, specialize in the ram. They like to smell that ring,
That's it for Farming Forward. I am Druselle Mills. See you next week. Farming Forward is brought to you by Nutrimix.
We now turn to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. In St. Lucia, the country has lost a quiet giant of service. World War II veteran and humanitarian Reginald Cherubin passed away on December 31st, 2025, at the remarkable age of 101, leaving behind a legacy of courage, humility, and unwavering devotion to others. TTT News reports.
The Cherubin family is mourning the passing of World War II veteran and humanitarian Reginald Cherubin, who died on December 31st, 2025 at age 101. Throughout his lifetime, service to country and service to humanity were at the heart of everything that he did. While his family grieves his loss, they are also celebrating the legacy of strength, compassion, and patriotism that he leaves behind. His daughter, Jackie Cherubin, reflects on his early years as a soldier.
My dad was someone who lived a life of service. He started in the army, joined the army in Trinidad when he was 17, and then he was placed in Guyana and then St. Lucia, where he met my mom, had his 4 kids, and moved on to Aruba, where he worked for many years, and in the Lago Hospital as a maid nurse.
She shared that although many remember him primarily for his wartime service, Reginald Cherubin was also deeply dedicated to humanitarian work. She says she is grateful for the strong values he instilled in his children, values that guided them to make meaningful contributions to society. She hopes her father's life story will inspire others to serve their country with dignity and pride.
On the international scene, the government of Aleppo says Kurdish-led Syrian Democratic Forces fighters have withdrawn under a fragile ceasefire. At least 30 people were killed and more than 150,000 displaced during 5 days of intense fighting. We hear more from Al Jazeera.
For days, Aleppo has been at the centre of Syria's fractured security picture. On Sunday, tensions appear to be easing. The government says the Syrian Democratic Forces has withdrawn from the last contested neighbourhoods of the city.
Currently, the operation to clear Sheikh Maqsood neighborhood is in its final stages. Interior Ministry personnel are currently clearing the Sheikh Maqsood neighborhood of SDF elements.
State media and security officials say Kurdish-led SDF fighters and their families have been moved to areas in northern and northeastern Syria under SDF control. Some welcome the withdrawal, hoping for a return to normal.
Thank God we are rid of the Syrian Democratic Forces and its problems, and the shelling that used to rain down on the people every day.
Officials insist the evacuations were voluntary and temporary, with shelters supplied for civilians caught up in the fighting. Kurdish media footage showed injured people and displaced families arriving in the northern town of Deir Hafir after days trapped in Sheikh Maqsoud. The SDF here and in northeastern Syria was supposed to have started merging with Syrian government forces almost a year ago. Today, the SDF issued a statement describing those government forces as mercenary gangs backed by Turkey and said their resistance will continue.
That's it for regional and international news. I'm Kevin Black.
Inspire Jamaica is embarking on a series of conversations, adults in their childhood shoes. On January 10, 2026, the individual we will feature in part 1 was surprised with the Curriculum Associates Inspire Award in the United States of America. However, as you'll hear, his childhood here in Jamaica was not pointing in that direction.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place if you can.
Sharik Atkinson is an only child literally walking in her father's footsteps. He is her idol, especially because of where Linton Atkinson is coming from to where he is today.
As a school leader in 2022, when I was sitting in IEP meetings, individualized educational plan meetings, they were talking about varying disabilities that students have and the reasons they have those disabilities. And I reflected on my own story. When I grew up in Jamaica, I didn't learn to read until I was in the 4th grade. Didn't know that I had a disability at that time until later on in life.
Take me back to your assessment, if there was ever one.
Okay. So not necessarily an official assessment, but as a child I knew I had some uniquenesses about me. As an adult, someone said, you need to look into this because, you know, there might be an assessment that will help you get some answers. And so I did a short form of an assessment, and I do have some traits of autism, right? Somewhere on the spectrum there. But it is yet to be determined, so I probably need to do a bigger test or a more official test. But I knew when I was growing up, it was not because I wasn't smart that I wasn't able to read before I got to 4th grade. It's just a matter of, okay, tapping into how I would learn, which is what my 4th grade teacher did, Miss Steer, at Barracks Road Primary School in Montego Bay. And she taught me during her lunchtime, using different styles of teaching, to read.
So instinctively, she picked up something, but she was unable to follow through because of what you think may have
I believe she was a little bit ahead of her time in terms of picking up on the fact that there are students who aren't just dunce. There are students who aren't just misbehaving because they want to misbehave. There are students who really want to learn, but the teaching style that you're actually helping them with in a classroom may not necessarily be the best for them. So she varied the teaching style for me. And she actually took me separately during her lunchtime and used different modalities to teach me how to read.
Kudos to her, but as you mentioned, dunce, and you know, the Jamaican setting when people are easily teased, and worst of all, if nobody knows. Were you ever stigmatized? Did you ever feel different or were made to feel different by other students, other adults? And how did you react to that?
Oh, yes. When I was growing up, I had so many names. I was called Dunce. People told me you would see your name on Bulla and eat it because you can't even read the name. People would give me money and say, read what's on it. If you read what's on it, you'll get it. I wasn't able to read what's on it, then they would laugh at me. I remember being in a church one day when I was at Sunday school, and they asked me to read. I couldn't read. And they also asked me, what do you want to be when you grow up? I said, because I saw a doctor at the hospital and he looked important. And I said, I want to be a doctor when I grow up. And my Sunday school teacher at the time said, you can't even spell your name. You can't even read. How are you going to be a doctor? So I had some embarrassing moments growing up. But today I am a doctor of education. So I became a doctor by God's mercy.
How did that
affect your parents, you think? How did they react to that, or even to you?
You know, I didn't grow up with both parents. I grew up with just my mother.